So looking back at Emily's 2007 Is250 Lexus. So the other day we installed the coilovers. As you can see, it's quite a lot lower than it was. But since then we've had some issues. So after the coilovers were installed, the car started to have a small vibration, which got worse as you got faster. So at about 100, it was pretty bad. So at first we thought it was the wheels. So we took those to the tyre shop and got them balanced, and he pointed out that they were buckled. All of them were buckled, which seemed pretty ridiculous to me, but we took them to the mate's workshop and he jacked it up and looked at it and confirmed that they were all buckled. So that was pretty bad. We went for a drive after that and it still vibrated pretty badly, so we took it back to my mate's workshop and put on the hoist, and he did some inspecting for me. So I was at work at this point and Emily was driving her car. So Stretchy, thank you very much for looking at this car, and he confirmed that the diff is actually broken. So it seems that the spider gears are arguing with each other and they keep slipping, so it's not putting the power down evenly to both back wheels, and it's kind of favouring one side and then the other side, and it's just jumping around a bit. So yesterday we went on a bit of a parts mission. So we got a diff out of an Is250 as well. Now this one seems to be an OSD, and we got new shafts as well, because may as well have a look and get the best of both while we're under there. Came with a spindle because he couldn't get it off, and then the other one's over here in the dirt. So that's a good start. And then after that, we went and got some 2019 Camry wheels. So these are 18 by 8 plus 40. So the ones on the car are 19 by 8 plus 45 or something around there. I think they're Lexus ISF wheels. So we're swapping to the Camry wheels. He got it from the dealership and bought brand new wheels for his Camry straight away. So they've hardly been driven on. So I'm just about to take the wheels to the shop and get some tyres fitted, and then I'll come back and check them on the car. So we got some new tyres fitted to the new wheels and got the new wheels fitted. So they look pretty good. They're 18 inch. So this looks more like a stock setup than what we had before. So it's not as stylish, but it looks pretty good. It looks like it's meant to be, and I quite like them. So today we're going to be jacking the car up and taking the rear wheels off and trying to fit the new diff. So the new diff's over here. We've got one axle shaft here and one behind the trailer. So I just need to pop this out, undo the bolts on the back, hopefully undo the bolts on the front and the tail shaft, and the old one should pop out, and then push this one back into place. So we'll see how we go. So it was actually the following day working on the Lexus. I didn't film anything yesterday after that initial clip, because I soon realised that the whole subframe had to come out. So coming around here, I've got the new diff back in, but I had to take the whole subframe out, which is 4 bolts, one on each corner. The tail shaft, drop all of it out, undo the bolts on the back of the diff because I can't get to them when it's in the car, and then the front bolts on the diff, drop that out, lift the cradle back up, pull the diff out. We did all that yesterday, got the diff out, pulled the rear hat off, and there was nothing wrong with the gears. So I took it around to my mate who's a mechanic and got him to pull it apart and have a look at it and inspect it, and he said it was all fine. We took all the spider gears out and there was nothing wrong with it at all. So then we did the same thing with the new diff. There was nothing wrong with that, it looked exactly the same. So we put that one back together and put it in the car now. So I've just finished bolting the diff back into the subframe back into the car. I've put a little bit of oil in the diff, haven't finished it yet, but I used one of the squeegee bags. So they're just a bag with a hose on them and you just squeeze them and it comes out the tube. Super handy. So I've done one of those. So I need to crawl underneath this thing and do the tail shaft bolts up. I've rebolted the exhaust together. So it was quite a lot of work yesterday. I had to pull the exhaust off, take the tail shaft off obviously. So there's a lot of work. Had to unbolt every single one of these arms to get the hub off so I could get the shaft out of the diff so I could lower the subframe. So I'm waiting for a mate of mine, Dale, who had that Tirana in the last episode. Waiting for him to come around with his rattle gun so I can take these shafts out. Then I'll take the new shafts out of these ones, compare what I've got, see which ones are the best ones, and then use the best of what I've got and put them back into the car, bolt everything back together, and hopefully fix this vibration, but I haven't actually fixed anything. There's nothing broken that we could find, so I don't really know what's happening. So we may still have the vibration after all of this. So it's a bit of work, and it's been a bit of a pain in the ass, but so there we go. So it's another new day here on the Lexus. So yesterday I unbolted the axles from the hub and then knocked them out on either side. Did the same thing with the new stuff, and then cleaned them off, compared the best pair of axles. So I've just put those back in, or put this one back in. So now I'm going to try and put the hub back on, bolt everything back up, put the wheel back on, do the other side, we'll check everything, and then put the wheels back on, and then lower it down on the ground, and go for a drive. So hopefully these are a lot better. I'm not really sure, but the guy that I got it off of said the diff and the axles had 120,000 Ks on them, and this car has about 160,000, so at worst case, we have the same problems, but these are 40,000 Ks newer, so it's still an upgrade, I guess, but hopefully it fixes the problem. So I'll just get stuck into this, and I'll show you when I've got something to update. So I've gotten this side mostly back together. This ball joint is spinning in the hub, so I need to hold onto that somehow and do this nut up, or get the rattle gun on it, which I'll have to pull the compressor out for. I'm going to do this up, and I'm going to put the brake caliper back on. But I'm going to go around to the other side because I can't do this up, because the diff will just spin, so I need to do the other side up, put the brakes back on, and then do them up properly. And I'll leave the caliper off till I've done that, because it might be in the way. So I'll head over to the other side and get started on that. So I'm just around on the driver's side, and this is the new axle. So as you can see, it's got a circlip on this end, which is why they are so hard to get out. So you just bend this shield back, which we've done over here, get a pry bar in there, and then lever it as quickly as you can. Just try and get a whole bunch of force on it as quickly as possible, and it just pops out from that circlip at the end. So it's normally a 2 or 3 stage, sort of like clicks in and out a couple of times. It's easy enough. And then the other end is just a spline with a thread. So diff end, wheel hub end, and then you can see up in there the diff. So slide it into there, click it in, and then try and fumble the other end into here, which is a bit painful sometimes, and then do up all the bolts and the ABS sensor. So with some YouTube magic, all back together. So I've checked the diff oil, checked all the bolts underneath, checked the wheels, put the wheels back on, put the brakes back on. Everything's back together as far as I'm concerned. So I'm going to chuck some tools in the boot just in case, get this off the wheels or the jack stands, and then take it for a test drive. So the car's back on the ground, back together. Just rolled it forwards a bit and sprayed some degreaser on the area I was working. So unfortunately Emily's spare key is flat, so I can't actually start the car. I can open it, but I can't start it. So I have to wait till she gets home, and then I can go for a test drive. So I'll shower and get cleaned up, and hopefully she'll be home by then. Then we can take this out, and hopefully the vibration is gone. So I've got the Lexus all put back together. I just took it for a test drive. Did about 20 Ks or so at 110. And didn't feel a single wobble or vibration from the rear end. So it's feeling pretty good now. Just checked the tyre pressures since the tyres have been fitted. We haven't actually checked them, and they're all at about 42 or 43 psi. So it should be even smoother now than it was just a minute ago. So hopefully this is the last clip in the video. So thanks for watching, if it is, and if not, you'll see me complaining about something else in a minute. So another update on the 30k challenge. Last update I was at $761. I had the lower control arms and the bell housing to sell as well. So since then I've bought and sold some AE110 Corolla gauges. I've bought a gear knob and a gear boot from an AE110 as well. Then I bought what I've called I, which is a huge list of parts. And then I bought some TA22 guards. I've sold one of those. So then I got a message from someone in Tasmania, and he wanted a Seor guard and a Seor headlight. So I've bought the guard and then sold the guard to him already. And then he's given me $70 to find a headlight. So I need to find a headlight. So that puts me to $595, and I have a huge list of parts left to sell. So the huge list of parts that I bought, I went to Upullet and bought a bunch of stuff again. So I got a Camry Sportivo lip kit, a AE110 steering wheel, which has a blown airbag, an AE110 radio fascia, a AE110 stalk with the fog light switch, the set of gauges, which I spoke about a minute ago, the gear boot and gear knob that I've spoke about a minute ago, the box that goes under the radio, an alarm blank, and the mirror controls, some YRV gauges with the tacho. Then I bought a Daihatsu Terios mirror switch, the 4x4 lock switch, a full key set with the key for a Daihatsu or a Toyota, a YRV automatic Tiptronic steering wheel with the switch to go from steering wheel controls to manual controls. Then I bought another A110 radio fascia, another fog light stalk, another set of gauges, a YRV ECU, a Terios ECU, another alarm blank, one single fog light because the left hand side was good and the right hand side was smashed, then a YRV radio loom, and then I've bought the Seal guard I was talking about, an AE112 or two AE112 radio boxes, an alarm box, and I'm still looking for another headlight. So we're getting there. I've got $595 to spend and I've got all of those parts to sell. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.